10th edition is now finally released, and with it we have a whole bunch of new lore, this brand new narrative of the Tyranids invading the Segmentum Pacificus, the western part of the Imperium. This video is designed to give you a fully update of the first part of that narrative. This is all located in the 10th edition rulebook. So let's jump in and let's get waffling. Now, the first stages of the Tyranid invasion and their gains was mostly down to the incompetence of the Imperium itself. There were a number of worlds on the fringes, on the borders of the Segmentum Pacificus that started to disappear, and the Imperium thought these were related to Orc Wars and Chaos shenanigans, but in fact, of course, it was the start of the brand new Tyranid invasion into the Segmentum Pacificus. And after more and more worlds went dark and went silent, there was a ship of Adeptus Arbites that was sent out to investigate this matter. What they found is a mass of Tyranids invading the Segmentum Pacificus, but before they could actually send out their distress call, their fleet, their ships were consumed by the Tyranid foe themselves. Soon enough, though, the High Lords of Terror were informed about this brand new threat to the Imperium, and this is all down to the Adeptus Custodes and their spy network called the Eyes of the Emperor. The Eyes of the Emperor are former Custodes who have given up their position on Terra to guard the throne world, to guard the Emperor himself, and they've gone out into the galaxy to wait and search for threats, then report back to Terra. And this is what they did. They saw the incoming threat from the Tyranids and went back to Terra and reported to Captain General Valoris, who then indeed informed the High Lords of the invasion of Segmentum Pacificus. Now, with the High Lords being informed of this brand new invasion, they had to gather resources. So they sent out for regiments to reform, recruit, to organize big new fleets now to take on this new foe. But of course, what you're having at this time is Guilliman's Crusade, the Indomitus Crusade, so a lot of resources have been given over to that. So it's got to take time to gather these new armies, to make these new fleets to take on the Tyranids. So the idea of Soulblades were formed. These were quick reactionary forces that were meant to strike at key locations against the Tyranids and slow their halt until the main bulk of forces could be gathered and take them on fully. Now, these Soulblades are led by legendary heroes, anything from a Custodes to a Imperial Guard, to a Sister of Battle, to Space Marine Dreadnoughts, Chaplains. Famous heroes that you can think of are leading these fast reactionary forces to try and stop the Tyranids from encroaching more into the Segmentum Pacificus and really hold them back. Now, the Soulblades achieved some success, but the emergence of a third Leviathan Tendril overshadowed and proved the Soulblades' efforts wouldn't be enough to stop the bulk of the Tyranid forces. There was just far too many invading the Segmentum Pacificus to hold them back. Now, since the Soulblades were not being very effective against this new Tyranid foe, something called the Sanctuary Protocol was enacted by the Lord Solar. The resources of Anchor Worlds and the forces of the Soulblades were ordered to be all gathered together to protect key locations. What I mean by key locations is Agri Worlds, Forge Worlds, any type of industrial output that would break the Imperium if lost to the Tyranid forces. Now, also, in the Segmentum Pacificus, it wasn't just the Imperium fighting back against this new Tyranid invasion. Other Xenos races also got involved. The Votan were a race that lost many planets to this new Tyranid invasion, completely consumed, wiped out. But you also had other Xenos forces like the Eldar, the Necrons, and even the Harud fighting back against this new Tyranid threat. Now, one of the big battles that happens in this is actually one of the main battles, happens in the Formidary system, and it is Warzone Bastio. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. This is where one of those key anchor worlds are, and that anchor world is Sanctum, home world of the White Templar chapter. Now, the forces that were sent there by the Imperium were the Lord Solar himself, the Phalanx with guard after guard regiment, Imperial Fist. This system could not fall, so it had to stand. The Imperial forces dug themselves in and they waited for the incoming slaughter of the Tyranids. Now, the initial engagement in the systems against the Tyranid forces actually went in favor of the Imperium. As I stated, you had the Phalanx there, which was now fully operational. Its gun decks unleashing ordnance after ordnance, defeating bioship after bioship. But one of the things that the Tyranids have on their side in their favor is their numbers. So for every other bioship that was destroyed, another 2 managed to get through and land their forces on the planet. The ground war was just the same. Initially, the Imperial forces had great success, but the numbers upon numbers started to overwhelm the Imperial forces and consume their defensive lines. Now, with the Tyranid forces consuming and overrunning the Imperial defenses, not only on the ground, but in the Void battle itself, relief came in a golden fleet. Captain General Valoris, the Custodes, and a number of Soulblades breached into the system and began to wage war on the Tyranid tendril that was attacking the Imperial forces. Now, unbeknownst to the Imperial forces, a Norn emissary had deployed on the planet of Sanctum, and its job was to seek out the hierarchy, the higher-ups of the Imperial command structure, and kill them. Because once you kill that hierarchy structure, then orders start getting mismanaged, and technically the Imperial forces would just be easy pickings for the Tyranids to consume them and kill them and have victory on the day. So it was seeking out the Lord Solar on the planet, since he was giving all the marshalling orders and conducting the battle strategies against the Tyranid forces. Now, before the Norn emissary could engage the Lord Solar and kill him and possibly get victory, the Captain General himself deployed on Sanctum and stood between the Norn emissary and the Lord Solar. This was about to be a one-on-one epic battle. Now, the Norn emissary is a colossal bio-titan. This thing is designed to kill and assassinate some of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. But what it went up against was the Captain General himself. Not only is he a brilliant strategic mind, he is also one of the greatest heroes the Imperium has to offer. These two had an absolutely amazing epic duel back and forth, but of course the Captain General came out on top and he slew the Norn emissary on the battlefield. The Tyranid forces in that system then were overcame and they were defeated, but this is not a victory for the Imperium. The Imperium is losing. It narrowly avoided this disastrous defeat, but however, other sanctuary worlds are now infested with Tyranids. Waves and waves of Tyranids are constantly attacking other anchor worlds. There's technically 3 tendrils that are advancing now towards a Segmentum Solar, which is literally Terra itself, the homeworld of humanity. This is the start of the 4th Tyrannic War. This is the first story that's being told, and many more will come. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching this little mini lore introductory into the 4th Tyrannic War. I'm sure plenty of more stories will be told with this. We've just had the release of the Leviathan book, which I'm listening to at the moment, and I will be doing a lore summary for that sometime this week. But like I said, the 4th Tyrannic War is now happening. I'm sure we'll get even more stories surrounding the Imperium fighting it. Don't forget, we've still got the Primarchs to get involved, Lion and Gilliman, they still yet to meet, and maybe they'll meet up and then go and fight the Tyranids together. We don't really know at this point, but I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it and where they take this narrative. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below, and we'll have a nice little chin wag down there as we always do. See ya. Have a great day, and bye-bye.